Hey guys, we're gonna be looking into World of Haiku. This is supposed to be a hacking game which teaches some real world hacking skills. At least that's what they claim to. So let's take a look and what we get. So I'm gonna go into new game. Um, I don't want to delete my username. The rest of the things that I can delete. Clear. Okay. Okay. Continue. It seems that we are on often, and there's something really weird. We have our identity, we have our username, we have our IP address dedicated to us. A mysterious file appears in your message system that is about to set off a series of most unexpected events. Seems like a typical movie kind of scenario. There is the Haiku terminal, and then here we have some messaging. There is the skill tree, and there is a map. I don't want to put right now. So let's take a look at the message. From sorceress at gcorp.com, text an IP address, source, grayskull. Okay, let's click next, and let's click next. There is a new guy that says, greetings, my name is Gunnar, whatever it is. I lead a cybermancer guild of grid runners. You may not remember, but we met a long time ago. I'm actually here to protect you. Seems like we got ourselves in some sort of trouble, and then there is a weird cyber, force that is kind of trying to help us. One of our operatives, Sorceress, has gone silent for days now. Now she just sent you a message. Your life may depend on those clues. I'm going to help you out of this mess. So there is someone called Sorceress who is contacting us to save us for some reason. Something big is going to go down soon. You're somehow in the middle of all of it, blah blah blah, all that, and these guys are trying to help us essentially. So let's skip through this, and seems like we have to have knowledge of standard Linux operating system that is developed in the late 20th century. So probably some basic Linux skills would help. Because of that, I'll be giving a crash course. So probably they're going to be teaching us Linux, at least the basics of Linux, through a gamified fashion, which a lot of platforms do. And I'm really fascinated to see this in Steam. So enter CD applications in the terminal to move into the directory. A directory contains specific set of files and folders. CD stands for change directory. Applications is the target directory. So basically there is other commands do not work, at least at the beginning. So they want us to run this command to change the directory. At this point I'm just assuming that the directory application exists, and I'm going to do what they ask me to do, and the goal is complete for now. Enter pwd in the terminal to see where you are in the file system. Pwd, it's going to tell us we are in /applications directory. Pwd prints the current working directory, and if I do ls, this is going to list as what is within the folder application, and then they're gonna tell us how to use cd as well, like cd double dot, which is going to go one directory to the previous one. And here we have a list of tasks to be completed as part of the mission. So here we can see execute your first command, which we just did, learn the basics, check the manual via terminal, so on and so forth. Here let's do cd double dot, we got back to the previous directory. Now try moving into the documents using the directory command. So they want us to move into this folder called documents. To do that, let's do pwd, we are in root, slash is root into next. If I do ls-la, ls is to list everything, -la to have a list view and print everything, at least output everything, including the hidden ones. We see three different directories. So here we can see a name, and it says, hey, this is a directory, so on and so forth. We have documents, downloads, and applications. They want us to move into documents. Let's do cd documents and ls. Here we have a new file called personal data.data. Now type pwd to make sure that you're in the documents folder. So they want us to make sure that we are in the correct directory. Regardless, we can see here that we are in ~/documents, which is home/documents. Anyway, we'll still type pwd because it says so. And let's do an ls, personal data.data. That is a file. It looks like you have a file in your documents directory. Go on To read what is on the file, type cat file name, where file name is personal data. If you're wondering, cat stands for concatenate, that means to read. And I thought cat was an actual cat. And let's also try not to abuse this cat. Personal data. This is going to read the file or concatenate the file and give us the output. Reading the file, it gives us some information like your home system credentials, username, IP address, password, so on and so forth. Typically, this would be critical information for people to have. People don't share it, but since it's a game, right? Need to refer these commands. Type man command, which stands for manual. This keeps track of every command, how to use every cyber tool you come across. Now, one thing that's very typical in Linux, like you can imagine this buying a new mobile phone, right? Any product, you typically get a manual, a book that contains all the information about how to use that new product that you purchased. Very similarly, Linux has this thing called manual page, which explains how you can use any command in Linux. So if you do man cd, like they're supposed to ask us to do, man cd, it's going to tell me what cd is. So here you can see description, change the directory, parameter, so on and so forth. One thing that they've done very nicely here is also give up the manual page here. So here we can see application unlocked, which basically brings up a manual whenever we click this, and we can basically look into what each command is, at least the commands that are unlocked. We can look into the command like cd here, change directory, change slash to go to root, cd double dot to go up a directory, so on and so forth. It gives you a very good idea on how you can use all of these commands. A lot of the war games contain this information, and this is one of the first things that you learn in Linux, like when you do not only Linux but pretty much any operating system. If you want to learn it in depth, there should be some sort of a manual that's going to help you, right? You will find the manual to be an invaluable resource. That is definitely, see, one of the things that people do, like really good guys who use Linux do, they don't Google about like how do you do stuff, right? If I'm not able to run a command, if I don't know how to run a command, I don't go ahead and Google like, hey, how do I run cd, how do I do this, do that? No, first thing we do is we check the manual. So for people who are very new to Linux, keep that in mind. Try to avoid Google as much as possible, or any search engine as much as possible. I don't personally use Google a lot, but these days, manual page is the first place that you have to look into in terms of how you want to use the tools, right? Lastly, use your notes application, blah blah blah. There's a new thing unlocked. It says notes. Again, this is like very interesting and super important. Note keeping is very important in this field. I mean, in any field, but again, in the professional cybersecurity field, notes is like super important. I use a lot of different types of notes. Obsidian is a good one. Notion is a good one. Joplin, Cherry Tree. There are so many of them. You can pick your poison one note. Even if you want to use Notepad, that's completely fine. Or some people use GitHub to have a private repository and collect all the notes. Do that kind of stuff if you're really into Vim and Emacs and all of that stuff. Yeah, it's really something that you need to keep in mind to have good notes. Excellent work. Now you have the tools to navigate the grid. I'm sending you our AI assistant, Rascal. So you're basically getting your own personal assistant called Rascal to work with you. I'm investigating new data that blah blah blah. But I've given instructions to Rascal to guide you on the first reconnaissance job. Good luck. So basically there's an AI that's going to be guiding us through a first mission. Whatever we've done until now is supposed to be the ultra basic ones. So let's go take a look at the first mission. We have Rascal. Rascal looks good. Hey there, Planktash. I'm Rascal. Robot Artificial Sentence Cyber Rally. So seems like an acronym. Rascal is an acronym to this. At your service, I've been instructed to guide you on the first Recon mission. So let's go to the first mission. We are logged into a system. Whatever this weird username is, at an IP address. Anyway, we've logged into that mission through SSH, and it's basically telling us I've located and hacked into G-Corp network. The origin of the message from Sorceress. you can see what your username and the device you're logged into by typing who am I. So who am I is a very popular command. So one of the first things that people do is to check what user they are when they logged in, or when they have some sort of an access to a machine. That gives us who we are. And there are a bunch of other commands as well, like uname-a to look into system information, id to look into ID information, so on and so forth. Who am I is one of the first commands that you run when you log into a machine. So they're trying to incorporate that. Hey, run who am I whenever you log into the machine to know who you are in that machine, right? We need to navigate through the workstations to find following 5 items. So we basically have a list that we have to find. One is we need to find the owner of gcorp domain. Second is the owner's email ID. Third is website server address. For the date when the website was registered. 5, the organization that owns the website. So let's go ahead and find all of this, and we have a huge list of machines to complete. So let's see how we can complete these machines. You will encounter file or directory name with spaces. So we have to try and read how to move into a directory which contains spaces, read a file which contains spaces, so on and so forth. So let's try it now. First, navigate to the CD documents. Okay, CD documents list, we have a lot of files, and you can see there are a bunch of different files which, okay, so how do you read this file? So if I do cat workout log.txt, this is going to read fine, at least I assume. Yeah, it is reading fine. However, if I'm gonna try and read house task.xml, if I do cat house task.xml, so what cat is going to try and do is it interprets that this as a separate file, house as a separate file, task.xml as a separate file, and it says, hey, I cannot find that, and it throws some sort of an error. So if you wanted to read files containing weird symbols and spaces and stuff like that, you can enclose it within quotations, or you can tab autocomplete. I don't think tab autocomplete is there in this. So let's do quotations house task.xml, and we are able to read that. So it basically gives us, we need to do the chores, take out the trash, vacuum office, vacuum bedroom, blah blah blah, all the house related stuff that's within the file. Good job. If you're unsure how to use cat, use the manual. So basically, if you wanted to look into the manual, and if I go to the cat program says if you want to use the file with spaces, use the quotations. Here is the example. Without spaces you can do directly, with spaces you need to wrap it around with quotations, at least within this game, right? Now I'm using navigation skill cd pwd to find all those items. So let's do that. So let's go ahead and read the rest of the files. I've read the workout log, I've read the house task. Next read contact emails.txt, and one goal is complete. Find the file with website owner contact information. Okay, that one is complete. Next one, let's read the other file, cat dairy entry penka.txt, whatever this is. I hope I'm spelling it correct. This does not solve any mission. Anyway, we have read all the files within this directory, which is the documents. You can verify that using pwd cd to directories back. Let's look into the downloads, cd downloads, and let's see what we find. So there are a couple of files. One is a text file, one is an XML file. So I'm trying to read the first one. It seems to be a recipe for banana bread, which contains ingredients and stuff like that. Let's read the next one because it doesn't solve any, the machine. And that solves one task in the machine. So once we're done, it basically logs us into a different system. I don't know why it does that. Let's see. Okay, sweet. We can use the email address info@gcorp to find owner of gcorp. As with that registration date, the cybermancers can narrow down their search for the gcorp owner. Nice find. Let's try out another workstation for more information. So basically, it logged us into a different workstation. If I do who am I, we can see we are a different user now. We can see there is a SSH login authentication message that's showing, so that's there. Let's look into documents again. I think this level is all about reading files. Monthly budget.xml, cat December 3 2038.txt. That also does not solve any mission. Let's move to documents and let's move to downloads. Report draft.doc. Document, it says enterprise response to cyber risk in 2049. Okay, that seems interesting. So let's read the next one. Server details.txt. Okay, so this one is giving us a bunch of server details and it says transferring you to a different system. So again, Joe seems like an alias. Maybe Kanger has more information on it. Looks like there's one more workstation available. Let's go check it out. So it logged into different workstation. If I do who am I, you can see I'm a different user now. Elam Johnson, whatever it is. I don't want to cd into this folders before knowing what is in it, because if it's empty, that's waste of time. Okay, anyway, let's see if I can read it directly. Okay, we can read it directly. Okay, so if you wanted to read the file within the directory, you can do cat the directory name / and the file name. It's going to read it. So declaration of ownership, blah blah blah. We found a file which contains some sort of information about Ella Johnson. So find the file with website owner name. So we found the owner. So Ella Johnson seems to be the owner of the website. And let's list downloads. We have my diary, saved emails. Let's do download / my diary. It doesn't support that. Okay. So let's cd into downloads, cd into my diary. Let's see. So there are a bunch of files. I'm gonna try and read it from the bottom, because chances are, if there is any information, they want us to repeat the process over and over again and waste our time. So if we try and read it from bottom, probably we might get something sooner. However, that's just an assumption. Okay, we've read 2 files. Let's read the third one. November 9 2023.doc. Can I do read all files at once? That's not possible. Okay. July 28 2024.doc. It just looks like a diary. Probably we won't find any information in this, I guess. 2026.doc. So the last 5 files gave us nothing. May 2 2029.doc. For the benefit of the doubt, let's read the rest as well. April 7 2027.doc. None. August 19 2026.doc. None. So it was a waste of time to look into the my diary directory. Let's look into the saved emails. So we have 3 directories. So can I list everything? That's not possible. List inbox. So there is domain transfer complete YAML file within the inbox. Let's do cat inbox the file name. I don't think quotation is needed. Probably it would break the whole cat stuff as well. robodaddy.com. So we found the domain name. So it says, how curious, domains.euro7.gov, the owner must be associated with Euro7. Very interesting, well done, and we have an updated machine to complete. Good work so far. I have few more tasks for you. Okay, what are the tasks? That's chatter on grid about something called Xeon key. So let's try and find the data. So there is supposedly something called Xeon key. We need to find the Xeon key. Also, GCorp is working on a tech called File Explorer Activator. See if we can find information on that project as well. So possibly there is a File Explorer. We need to find it. Right now we are also using a File Explorer that is within the command line where we can navigate through the file system, so on and so forth. But there seems to be another File Explorer which probably is graphical. Let me inspect sorcerer's message. I wonder if she gave you access to ghost server. That's like a hidden or a bandit server of the network. Let me try to access the IP address she sent. An IP address is a unique number code assigned to a specific device on a network. So I don't know what IP they are speaking about, but yeah, IP address typically is a unique number that is associated with a device. If it's DHCP, IP address is dynamically allocated within a network. What that means is it's more like getting a phone number. Whenever you want to connect to a network, devices within a network, they get a unique address assigned to their physical address, the MAC address. I don't know if that made sense, but IP address is the address assigned to a device dynamically if it's DHCP, and it could change for different networks. Okay. That's it. Use the username and password she sent you, got it sent to a ghost server, navigate through the server, see what information you can find. Okay, we are logged into another system. Who am I? Sorceress. This is interesting because Sorceress has given us a device to connect to. This is probably Sorceress's machine, or that ghost machine, whatever it's saying, or this is a machine that Sorceress has hacked into and has full control of. So let's list what we have. CD into documents, and let's see what we have in documents. It says intercepted emails, intercepted emails, intercepted emails, and then we have a bunch of emails. Let's look into the emails. Acquiring source 0.yml. Nothing. Dealer.yml, nothing. Reply seal the deal.yml. Okay, seal the deal gives us a machine, at least a task complete. So the file contains agenda 21. Agenda 21 seems fishy, and then there is an IP address associated with it, and then it lists things like cyber attack OGI, cyber attack ABM. So seems like someone has paid to launch a cyber attack against two different entities. One is ABM, one is OGI, and this is the amount that they paid. Possibly dollars, BCD. I don't know what currency it is, but yeah, some currency has been paid. So let's read into the last one. Free deal or no deal? Question mark .yml. Okay, that also doesn't give us much information. It's from Catalyst. Probably there is some hacker called Catalyst who's providing a service, and who are this agenda 21 guys are. They're paying Catalyst to launch cyber attack. We're expecting a swift execution of the Horseman virus and zero hiccups. So there are two different malwares that they're going to be using. One is the Horseman, one is the zero hiccups. And they also give us an IP through which the traffic is going to be routed to. So these two are the malwares. Let's remember that. Horseman virus, zero hiccups. And they are going to be launched against, or they are already launched against, OGI and ABM corporates. Let's move one directory back two directories back. Let's move into the system directory, cd into systems, let's applications, there's a directory called application, and list. Okay, so here it is. They've told us that there'd be something called File Explorer, the project that they're working on. So seems like this is the File Explorer binary, and I don't know what it does at this point. Application unlocked. The File Explorer will be located on your toolbar. Let's explore it. Okay, so let's go to the File Explorer. So this seems to be the File Explorer. If we are in Applications directory, use the upper arrow mark icon to do the same action as cd double dot. So I think they're probably trying to explain to newbies what cd does. So essentially, if you do cd double dot, it goes to the previous directory, right? So cd double dot pwd, you can see it has automatically came to this applications, right? If I do cd applications, you can see the File Explorer is also automatically moving into. So similarly, if I do the up arrow here, you can see cd double dot is getting executed. So the same thing what you run in the command line, maybe they're giving us a graphical user interface to look into. So now they want us to go into the previous directory, documents, downloads, trash, whatever. So let's look into trash. Come on. Okay. So inside trash, there is this Xeon key. I think this is something that they mentioned before to identify the Xeon key. I think that one is done. Okay, that is File Explorer. I don't want to use File Explorer. I would rather stick to the terminal because I'm very allergic to mouse, at least in most perspectives except for playing games. But yeah, that is there. Enter directory via File Explorer. What directory via file? Okay, they want us to enter directories via File Explorer. Let's enter these directories. Okay, so enter directory via File Explorer. One machine is complete. Open file via File Explorer. They wanted us also to open a file via File Explorer. I don't know what file to open. So let's try and open a file. Let's go into documents, intercept emails, and let's open this file. Okay, the machine is complete. So rather than looking everything from a terminal, they are telling us, hey, we are making a job easy. You can use a File Explorer. I don't really like, I like the approach where they're trying to explain the relationship between the GUI front-end File Explorer and what happens in CLI. But it would be best if they advise the players to stick to the command line. Probably they do, but this should be restricted. It would be better if they do that. Okay, good job. We can use both File Explorers, command lines, whatever you want. Okay, also GCOP is working on it. Yeah, we got that. And that's pretty much it. That's mission 1 of World of Haiku. The dealers are an organization of hackers on the net who knows how to get things done. They are deal makers, middlemen, fences, smugglers, information brokers, so on and so forth. They are intimately connected to the pulse and cybersecurity with contacts in higher circles, so on. So seems like a very dangerous criminal organization who many members operate with Agenda 21. There is something called Agenda 21 Cybermanchers. Cybermanchers is the one who is in touch with us, trying to help us for some reason. Agenda 21 is the guys who basically is launching 2 different attacks, different malware, Horseman, virus, and there was one more, whatever it is, right? So that's pretty much it. That's World of Haiku Machine 1. In another video, we'll look into Machine 2. Once you're done with Machine 1, you can see the typical network that you've reached into, the number of devices that you've reached into, and what sort of gold mine was there for you to explore. Once you're done, you can go to Machine 2. Machine 2 we'll look at in a different video. Thank you so much.